This podcast is brought to you by PodPro Australia.
If you want to get people the hell of social media and into your email list, then this episode is for you. Social media, Google, email marketing, systems, website traffic, and the endless content creation that comes with marketing. It's overwhelming, right? Say goodbye to endless stress and hello to clarity with the Meaningful Marketing Podcast. In this podcast, I will share with you fast and free practical methods to help you manage, monetize, and market your business, all infused with a healthy dose of motivation. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Meaningful Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Chantal Gerardy from Online Business Marketing. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you how you can create a profitable webinar funnel. If you've been wondering how you can get more qualified leads and build your email list and also get a huge opportunity to sell one-to-many, then a webinar funnel is the funnel for you. A lot of businesses struggle with the lack of quality leads as well as low conversion rates and limited visibility. The webinar funnel is a great way to handle all of these. The good thing about a webinar funnel is that it is suitable for both B2B, B2C, as well as e-commerce and service-based businesses. The difference would be in that you would have to adjust your marketing and then your call to action at the end to suit the particular funnel that you create. Let's talk about some of the benefits of using a webinar funnel. You can get a consistent flow of high-quality leads. You can grow your email list. You can turn those leads into loyal customers at a higher conversion rate. It gives you the opportunity to sell one-to-many. In the process of marketing your webinar funnel, you can actually gain visibility and increase sales. Your business will become a prominent figure in the industry and stand out from your competitors. In a webinar, you are able to showcase your expertise and better position your unique value propositions. It gives you a great opportunity to break through any sales plateaus that you may have, and it can honestly be a game changer for your business. You do, however, need to have a marketing strategy. Many people come to me and they say, I've got a webinar doesn't work. I run my webinar all the time and it's just not converting. It's not getting leads. And I'm going to share with you today the 5 reasons or the 5 steps that you need to go through to ensure that it does actually convert. In fact, if you get any one of these 5 things wrong, the webinar funnel will not work for you. Before we get started, let me handle 2 myths. Firstly, you do not need to pay for advertising in order to get your webinar funnel to work for you. I have recently just had 3 clients that have successfully generated thousands of dollars, I think $9,000, $15,000, $23,000 off a single webinar without paying for ads at all. In fact, if your webinar funnel is not converting without ads, you shouldn't put ads behind it. Secondly, I'm sure you're wondering whether or not I'm talking about doing a live webinar or doing an evergreen webinar. Now, in my personal experience, people don't watch evergreen webinars anymore. They would need to be incredibly short and incredibly engaging in order for people to watch. But in my experience, you gain a much better result from holding a live webinar. So some of the common mistakes when it comes to a webinar funnel is neglecting your audience research. If you do not do audience research, you're not able to provide compelling content that's going to be able to convert them, whether we are talking about your marketing plan or whether or not we're actually talking about what goes into the webinar. Number 2 is overcomplicating the content. In fact, the content needs to be easily digestible by the customer. Number 3 is weak promotion. You may have the best webinar in the world, but unless you have a strong marketing plan and you are constantly promoting it, you're not going to get sign-ups or show-ups. Number 4 is neglecting the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. I recently had a client who did not allocate sufficient time after her webinar to follow up on leads. This impacted her sales and conversions drastically. Since dedicating 2 days post-webinar to follow up on potential leads from the webinar, she is now successfully making more sales and converting more of them. Lack of engagement. It's really important to engage your audience, both in the marketing plan, in the email sequences, as well as in your webinar presentation. You want to make sure that you are engaging them, inviting them to contribute to the conversation, and keep them excited and engaged throughout. Your call to action at the end is absolutely paramount, and making sure that you transition to that sales section at the end is really important. The call to action at the end has to be logical to the customer and the offer needs to make sense to them. Of course, then you need to make sure that you have testing, that you do go out and test your webinars and work out where in the 5 stages you have gone wrong or where the kinks are in order to fix them. So many times people will go and redo the entire funnel when really what they need to do is look at where in the funnel they went wrong. Of course, that means also then looking at your analytics and checking things like click-throughs, open rates, and registrations. So let's get into the 5 steps of holding a successful webinar. Number 1, you need to get signups. And the most important thing for a sign-up is getting your webinar title right. The webinar title has to catch the right person and get them to register. Of course, then you need to go out onto social media and ensure that you're getting signups. You also should go out to any Facebook groups that you may have and also to your email list and get them to register for your webinar. You could also pick up the phone and send out personal invitations, letting them know about the webinar that you've got coming up. It is important for you to also collaborate with your cheerleaders online and also to engage your referral partners and ask them to share the link to help you get signups. You could also possibly hold a challenge or a preview or speaking event in order to ramp up some of those signups. It is paramount that you optimize that registration page and that you make that process as simple as possible. Whereas they register and they automatically get a calendar link that goes onto their calendar to reserve their spot with the Zoom link attached to it. Using something like Eventbrite can be an absolute pain in the butt because people register and then they've actually got to log into Eventbrite to get the link for the actual event. And in my experience, show-ups for Eventbrite events are often very poor. So number 2 then is getting people to show up. There's no point in having people sign up for the webinar and then not show up. So usually by following the next step that I'm going to share with you, you can increase your show ups by at least 25 to 50%. So in order to get show ups, you need to do what I call an excitement phase or a show up sequence where you send emails to the people who have registered, getting them all excited and drip feeding content to them so that they want to show up. You also then continue to remind them to allocate the time in their diary, make sure that they're not going to be driving or distracted at the time because you don't want them to miss out on what you're about to share. And you do that by sending out emails and SMSs. You also want to handle objections in your content. You could use SMS marketing. And of course, always tease them with a special show up bonus for those who are coming live. Another thing you could do is let them know that it's not going to be recorded and it's for a live audience only. So step 3 then is to create a winner webinar. This is to create a webinar presentation, which obviously delivers the content of the webinar and then takes them to a sale at the end. It is a structured process that I personally take my clients through, and it is an NLP sales process, which encourages connection, people to know, like, and trust you. It incorporates convincers like statistics and social proof, and it also debunks certain myths. It's then important for you to engage your audience, and you can simply do that by asking them to enter things into the chat box and asking questions in the chat box or leaving the questions till the end. It's important that you build desire and get commitment from them, and in their heads, they need to be saying yes, yes, yes the entire way through. Make sure that you handle any objections, that your content is exciting and visual, and of course, make sure that you have a desirable, irresistible offer at the end that is logical and solves the problem that you have been talking about in the presentation. At the end, have a fast action bonus to ensure that people take action right then and there. It's quite easy to create a fast action bonus. You can simply give away any checklists, templates, additional resources or training that you have, or even past courses that you've done that you could throw in. At the end of the day, your webinar has to provide heaps and heaps of value without overwhelming your audience. Step 4 is the follow-up. Make sure that you follow up with an email, letting them know what the offers are and making sure that they have all the links so that they can buy straight away. Check your email open rates, check your email click-through rates, and make sure that people are actually getting the follow-up sequences. And then you follow up on the engagement that you're getting in your emails. And this could even be through making a phone call. Offering a payment plan in the follow-up can help get people across the line. So step 5, a nurture sequence. Now that we've built a list of qualified leads through your marketing to get people registered for the webinar, it is important that you continue to nurture those relationships through email sequences. You want to continue to re-engage attendees, continue to address any of their objections, get them excited about other potential offers you may have, continue to share social proof and testimonials, and perhaps have a countdown timer or a time-based offer that can help get them across the line. Again, you can pick up the phone and you can follow up with a call to help get those final sales across the line. So as mentioned previously, the webinar funnel is an absolutely awesome funnel in order to be able to build your list of qualified leads. Now imagine that you ran a webinar every single month, and every single month you continued to get 50, 100, 150 new qualified leads into your email list, and you continue to nurture those relationships through your email marketing, and they keep returning and returning and returning to your webinars until eventually you get a yes. Did you know that webinars see an average engagement rate of 40 to 50%, far surpassing any other marketing avenue? Businesses that use webinars report an average revenue growth of 10 to 30%, and an astounding 73% of businesses see webinars as a crucial revenue generator. So if you'd like to build your authority and trust, and if you want to increase quality of your leads, and you want to have higher conversion rates, along with establishing your authority, building stronger relationships, and building a scalable and profitable model, webinar funnels could be the solution for you. Successful webinar funnel requires the right technology, an event management strategy, a registration system, a landing page, email marketing, the right content plan, audience engagement, post-webinar follow-up, and of course, make sure that you look at your analytics and reporting so that you can make data-driven decisions when you hold your next webinar. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure that you like, follow, comment, subscribe, rate, depending on what platform you are. For now, this is Chantal Gerardy from the Meaningful Marketing Podcast, and I hope that your marketing is meaningful. Thanks for listening in. Meaningful marketing is all about you making your marketing meaningful. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button. But subscribing means that you won't miss out on future episodes all about marketing and motivation. Stay inspired, stay focused, and make your marketing meaningful.